If you look at the origins of the world's second-largest fast food empire, you won't find a stroke of original genius. Instead, you'll find a massive business that only exists today because its original founders tried and failed to clone the industry leader. In 1953, Keith Kramer and Matthew Burns visited a wildly successful hamburger stand in Southern California. They witnessed an assembly line kitchen pumping out cheap food at record speeds and immediately flew back to Florida to replicate the model for themselves. This chart shows the reality of that attempt. While the McDonald brothers were making a fortune, the Florida copycats relied on temperamental Insta-machines that constantly jammed, dragging their new venture into a severe 56% operating deficit. Enter David Edgerton and James McLemmer. They bought into this Miami-based franchise hoping to get rich, only to open the books and discover they had purchased a business that was actively hemorrhaging cash. Kramer and Burns had the right ambition, but their reliance on faulty machines meant they were struggling to survive, while the brothers in California were setting the gold standard for the industry. During a lunch rush, an unreliable Insta-machine jammed again. Edgerton lost his temper, grabbed a hatchet, and literally smashed the equipment to pieces. With their primary cooking device destroyed, the partners were forced to engineer a reliable replacement. They built a gas-powered conveyor system called the flame broiler, which gave their patties a distinct smoky flavor. Shortly after, McLemmer noticed a massive line outside a rival stand selling large quarter-pound burgers. He immediately copied the item, named it the Whopper, and added it to their menu. Pairing a massive burger with their new flame-grilled cooking method gave the franchise a distinct identity. They could now justify charging 37 cents for a sandwich, while competitors were stuck at 15 cents. Burger King's success wasn't rooted in pure originality. Instead, they survived by taking other people's proven concepts and aggressively iterating on them until they had a working formula. Once they started making money, Edgerton and McLemmer wanted to expand fast. They sold territorial rights to new franchisees, but sacrificed oversight, resulting in hundreds of rogue restaurants operating with wildly different standards and menus. To fix the chaos, they sold the company to Pillsbury in 1967. Pillsbury launched Operation Phoenix, a corporate overhaul that started by poaching Donald Smith, a high-ranking executive directly from McDonald's. This map shows Smith's strategy. He took McDonald's operational playbook and forced it onto Burger King, bringing rogue locations into identical designs. To maintain enforcement, corporate bought the land beneath them, leasing it back to gain absolute leverage. To scale up and challenge their biggest rival, Burger King had to become a mirror image of the very giant it was trying to topple. With their operations finally stabilized, Burger King stopped playing defense and went on the offensive. Their Have It Your Way campaign turned McDonald's greatest strength against them. They framed their competitors' extreme uniformity as a rigid negative, pitching Burger King as the place that cared about your custom order. This escalated into direct combat. Burger King aired a commercial featuring a 5-year-old Sarah Michelle Gellar, becoming the first fast food chain to explicitly name and attack a competitor on television. They followed up the advertising attacks with direct product clones, like the Big King, a burger explicitly advertised to mock the ingredients and size of the Big Mac. These relentless public attacks defined the brand in the eyes of consumers. Burger King positioned itself as the rebellious, customizable alternative to the industry leader. Despite the brilliant operational pivot and the headline-grabbing marketing campaigns, Burger King was fighting a war that had already been decided decades earlier. In 1965, McDonald's went public. Their initial public offering injected a volume of cash into their business, shifting the power dynamics of the entire industry. This line graph shows the widening gap. IPO capital allowed McDonald's to open a new store daily by 1972, leaving Burger King fighting for second place. While McDonald's blanketed the globe, Burger King's growth was interrupted by corporate owners, Pillsbury, Diageo, and 3G Capital. The reality of this power dynamic became clear in 2015. Burger King took out full-page newspaper ads proposing a McWhopper collaboration for charity. But McDonald's simply ignored the stunt, entirely unbothered by a company they didn't even view as a peer. Product innovation and clever ads built Burger King into a global brand. But the financial head start McDonald's secured in the 60s created a lead in locations and capital that no marketing could ever fully close.